Mr. Emmanuel will attend Bright Primary Nursery and Primary School, Bajula, Lagos, and Hope Children Nursery School, Old Ojoro, Ajegule, for his primary education between 1975 and 1979. And thereafter attended Awori Ajero Grammar School, Ojo, and Baptist Academy of Anikoro, Lagos, where he obtained the ordinary level certificate in 1986. He was thereafter admitted into Lagos State University, Ojo, in 1986 for bachelor's degree program in fisheries and completed the program in 1990. Thereafter, he obtained a master's degree in public administration, MPA, and a master's degree in fisheries, MS Fishery, in 2002 and 2020 respectively. Mr. Howell joined the Lagos State Public Service as Fishery Officer 1 in December 1994, and he rose through the rank to the post of Director of Fish in 2021. A very committed officer, Mr. Howell was awarded the Lagos State Productivity Merit Award in 2007 for productivity, hard work, discipline, dedicated, and selfless service. Please let's up for him. Mr. Howell is a member of Fishery Society of Nigeria, FISON, and his hobby are playing board game, cheese and scraps, football, and reading novels.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on the already established protocols. Today, I'm very glad that I'm speaking to the molders of life, to those who make men. The Bible says God makes men, but teachers have an integral role to play in the making of people that occupy space or positions in society today. Much more importantly, why I'm so glad is because my wife herself is a teacher. She teaches commerce at the Army Cantonment Senior Secondary School. So I know, aside being the fact that I was once a student myself, I know what it means to actually be a teacher. I tried teaching my children at home, helping their homework, and I end up being violent, ruthlessly violent with them. But my wife said, "You can't do this." I said, "True, that's why I'm not a teacher." So I salute all our teachers here today. Please celebrate yourself. You are doing a very fantastic job, a very great job, and the Lord will bless you mightily. Please say amen. Amen. Okay, so I'm speaking to us this morning on the overview of blue economy, the African Continental Free Trade Area, the advantages, and of course also be speaking on the opportunities in aquaculture and fisheries to us here today. I currently coordinate the Lagos Agripreneurship Program, which is one of our flagship programs in the Agricultural Training Institute. Now, what we do in that program is to gather youth, women and youth, secondary school leavers and above, in our facility at Araga Ekwe, and train them in 3 value chains, agricultural value chains: fisheries, aquaculture, vegetable production, and then livestock production, depending on their area. Actually 2, fishery, aquaculture, and then livestock, while vegetable is cross-cutting for every one of them. Now, we bring them in and we hold them in our facility, and we give them capacity to train them for 1 month, 30 days, and thereafter we send them out to established farms for internship and mentorship, to understand and to understudy what it takes to actually run the commercial farming enterprise. Once they are through with that, also give them a week's training on entrepreneurship development. The end of all of this is to scale food production in Lagos State and also to absorb women and youth who otherwise would have been classified as unemployed or underemployed and channel their efforts into productive activities such as food production. Much more so, the fact that we have an aging farmer and even by extension fishermen population, which means if we are not taking radical steps now to bring in more actors into the streets, not the time where the farming population will have been so depleted that Lagos State will be relying 100% on other state federation for food supply. So we are doing that. And so we brought our youth in, and on this day I stepped in, and one of them said something to me that, see, I want to go into agriculture, but I don't have money. I don't have anybody to provide me with the capital. And I said to her, three of them, I said to this guy, that look, where there is a will, there will always be a way. When you have determination, in fact, when the human spirit is determined to get something done, there's a way the spiritual comes into alignment and things begin to fall in place to actualize the vision and the dream of that individual. And so I told them that, look, what is your dream? What is your vision? What are you about in agriculture? Agriculture does not necessarily mean carrying the hoe or the cutlasses or tilling the ground. There are so many activities within the value chain that you can come into the crew. Just for you to understand what it is you want to do, and we'll be speaking about some of them this morning. So we're looking at overview of the 2030 Blue Economy. And so I'm thinking to three sections. One is on understanding the concept of blue economy. Two, the African continental free trade area, the advantages, and then talking to futures of agriculture to close this paper. Now, in 2012, the concept of blue economy was introduced at the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development that was held in Rio de Janeiro. And I'll give a simple definition. So, I'll give a definition of blue economy and understand it, and of course look at how the World Bank defines blue economy. Blue economy is an economic system or sector that seeks to conserve marine and freshwater environment while using them in a sustainable way to develop economies and bring about economic growth and produce resources such as energy and food. Okay, so it's simply the series of activities you do to develop the marine or freshwater ecosystem to produce economic gains and also bring about energy and food. But the World Bank defines blue economy as the sustainable use of ocean resources, and the key word there is sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods and jobs while preserving the health of the ecosystem. I asked myself the question, why, when God was creating the world, why did he bother with creating the aquatic ecosystem? Why did he just create land and leave it like that? There must be a reason for having the waters there. And so man must understand why God created the aquatic ecosystem, marine freshwater ecosystem, and align with God's plan for them, so as to ensure they continue to deliver the benefits that they ought to deliver to humanity. Now, it's somehow awful that in our part of the world, Nigeria, that I know very well, is that we don't treat anything natural. We don't handle it with respect in good. We don't handle or treat our natural endowments with respect. The way we will exploit, even take, for example, forestry, the way we hunt for animals, the way we cut down trees for gains, we don't do it rationally. We are supposed to look at, if I take one and replace two, to ensure that there will be sustainability. But we continue to harvest and take out without bothering about tomorrow, thinking about that it will always take care of itself. That is not true. And so today we'll gain to understand it. So we understand that, there is always consequence for what we do, whether it is positive or negative. So an important key point of blue economy is sustainable fishing, ocean health, wildlife, and stopping pollution. Stopping pollution. There was a time while growing up, my secondary school days, my father would come home with fish that we can't cut with knife through. We have to use cutlass to cut fish. We don't use knife. Maybe after breaking the bones, you now use knife to cut up the muscles. But that you want to take the fish and cut the knife and cut it through, it's not possible. And that's how it was. 70s, 80s, up to very early 90s. But now, it's not so. I don't know how many people are here from the fishing industry. They will tell you that fish production or fish catch per unit effort has declined seriously. Why? Overfishing. The fish is there, so we keep harvesting, taking out, everybody coming in, taking out, in and out, until we have depleted our fishing resources. Not that only, not that we're not taking out, but where the fish live, the marine ecosystem, the aquatic ecosystem where the fish live, we begin to make it uninhabitable for them by dumping waste. You see somebody going along the way, he packs his refuse in the bag, and he's stored by the beach, and just people opens the door and boom, throws the refuse out. Out. You see off the Jora area before now, that's why you have that place, the water waste is totally, uninhabitable for fish. You see these septic tankers will just stop by there and discharge their waste into the lagoon system. You have made the place terribly uninhabitable for the fish, stopping pollution. So blue economy aims to move beyond business as usual to consider economic development and social health as compatible propositions. And that's the way to go. So it has diverse components, including established traditional ocean industries such as fisheries, tourism, and maritime transport, but also new and emerging activities such as offshore renewable energy, aquaculture, seabed extractive activities, marine biotechnology, pharmacology, and bioprospecting. I was in China a few years back, and they took also their biotechnology operation, and they had synthesized sugar from aquatic living plants that diabetics can take without having issues. Without issues. So that's what we're looking at right of the blue economy. The researchers have done that very well. In fact, when we went to that trip, we realized that China was only trying to show us why Nigeria should come to them and not go after the Western world. They have really gone far in terms of so many aspects of life. And so when we saw that breakthrough, we said, wow, this is great. But I'm not sure they believe to the market yet. Or maybe they kept it themselves. But they've actually gone far. And that is what the ocean economy or the blue economy offers us. But how is Nigeria doing with this? We talk of power supply, inadequate power supply. I can hear the sound of generator buzzing somewhere. Where I live, there was no light for 2 days. Even when they got the light, it was half current. They couldn't even turn my fan because we're depending on just one source of energy. Meanwhile, we have the entire coastline that will have been rigged with windmills and windmills to generate energy. That's what the economy offers. In terms of tourism also, I was just telling my sister that we were planning this boat regatta, that's why I came in late. That's tourism. It's on the waterways. And there's one young man that does those kind of things. So even as teachers, as a teacher, it's an opportunity that you can look at. I know my daughters, when they were in the nursery primary school, all those things, that the school usually come that want to go on excursion. Want to go on to this place, this farm, to this company. You can take it up. Excursion, a trip on the lagoon. All you need is talk to someone who has a boat. You broker the deal, do your arrangements, do your flyers, people will come in. That is still part of the blue economy, tourism. So what is the importance of blue economy? It can create jobs, support economic growth, mitigate the impact of climate change, and help meet the food needs of a growing global population. Nigeria expect, I don't know how much we do now on fish importation, but they run for billions of dollars. And yet, Lagos City alone, we have 180 kilometers along the Atlantic Ocean coastline. And all the way to Delta, on and on to Akwa Ibom. The entire coastline. Okay? Along the EEZ also. Fishing. We have no business importing fish. But because we are not taking charge or maximize why we're in coastal states in the first instance. Now, what are challenges of blue economy in Nigeria? A few of them. Number one is piracy. We have left our waters highly unpoliced. Highly unpoliced. Such that it's an all-comers, everybody from everywhere comes in to do whatever. And I know that the agency is concerned. We had similar meetings somewhere where they've been told. Although they say they are doing their best, Nigerians say they are doing their best. But we have a very wide area and very few personnel, very few platforms to police our inland or our water areas. So piracy. Destruction of marine ecosystem, pollution, illegal fishing. It will amaze that ships flying flags of other countries enter into our water that we will harvest and move out. Easily. Global climate change, oil and gas leakages among Niger Delta states. These are the challenges we have troubling the development of blue economy in Nigeria. But beyond that also is knowledge. The fact that are we really aware of the potentials that Nigeria as a country can derive from fully developing the blue economic system. We have the researchers in here, like the one I mentioned in China. They are doing so many stuffs with water. What are we doing here? Let's go to the next one, which says, what will undermine the realization of Nigerian blue economy? Nigerian blue economy remains one of the country's anchor subsector, with marine trade contributing 1.6% and fishes contributing 3.5% to the GDP. And in the 60s, one of the major focuses of Nigerian blue economy was fishing. The country was home to many trawling companies and fishing. However, government's failing to manage and enforce the fishing policy, waste disposal, cost of operation of vessels has been a major issue drawing the sector back despite relevant contribution from the sector. Several policies have been created, but only very few enforced in the country. For instance, some policies that are help address challenges facing the fishing industry are still being debated years after they have been proposed. Nigeria's interest in blue economy presently revolves around only oil and gas, transportation, and worst of all, sand mining. Our fishermen off the coast at Nigeria reported that they are having dwindling catches and their livelihoods being troubled. Why? Because of the major developmental activity going on in that area. The refinery projects, the fertilizer projects, okay, where they are actually removing sand from the marine environment, destroying breeding grounds, which invariably leads to low fish production. So all of this tells us that as a country, we have a lot to do, a lot to go in terms of developing the blue economy. It has the potentials to absorb and create jobs for our teeming youth. There was a time in Nigeria we had what was called the Nigerian National Shipping Line. Today, in fact, I learned then from history that they bought vessels in tens of numbers, brand new vessels. Today, there is none. So we need to do that, and we need to look at all of this. That's why we have so many youth without jobs today. It also tells us that we want to have rational utilization of our resources. We understand that whatever we are doing has serious consequences on the ecosystem that forms the blue economy. So rather than focus on just one area, we can diversify and generate so much wealth in this country that we don't need to rely on borrowings to sustain our economy. Going to the second one, we talk of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Afcfta. If I were doing this study, I got to understand, and maybe I'll just do an agree because of our time is here, is that Nigeria is a signatory to this agreement or to this area. We have a representative on the board, and they have so many programs that has to do with women and youth development. In fact, I was told today that they support capacity building for children in schools, which means as a school, we can begin to look at Afcfta and see how can our school benefit from it. And the simple way is just to invite them, in my own thinking and understanding, when I was talking to a very prominent individual in this field, that schools can write to them and take advantage of their programs to do capacity building for students and also empower schools with projects, especially in fisheries and aquaculture. So it's a free trade area encompassing most African countries, and it was established in 2018. It has 43 parties and another 11 signatories, including Nigeria. So it is the largest free trade area by number of states after the World Trade Organization, and the largest in population and geographic size, spanning 1.3 billion people across the world's second largest continent. Also, we quickly go on to the economic benefits. Now, the World Bank predicts that the agreement will contribute to lifting an additional 30 million people from extreme poverty and 68 million people from moderate poverty. Yet, the impact across African countries may not be uniform, But the World Bank says that at the very end, countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe will see income gains of 14% each. Benefits to the Nigerian economy. Number one, larger access, free movement of labor, goods and services, and capital. It will motivate Nigerian SMEs to expand their businesses to other African countries, foster business growth and increase profits, as well as contribute substantially to the development of our manufacturing sector, including increasing job opportunities and improving demand for labor, thus reducing unemployment. To create an opportunity for Nigerian professionals to seek employment in other African countries. So basically, it's all about the fact that we need to be aware of what is in place and how we can take advantage of this to better ourselves and, of course, our schools and by extension, our nation. Lastly, I'll look at the third thing, which is the business opportunities in aquaculture and fisheries, which I'll do that in another 5 minutes and then we'll be through. Aquaculture and fisheries offers a wide variety of business opportunities that can be done simultaneously. That's, not necessarily retiring from your principal activity. Okay? Number one, quickly, is what we call the breeding of juveniles and the fish fingerling. I don't know if anybody is speaking about aquaculture here today. I see challenge some young fellows about this, and you don't need too much space to do this. I know a family that has a 3-bedroom apartment, 2 bedrooms for living, 1 bedroom for production of fingerlings and juveniles to support the family income. Production of table-sized fish. This takes about 4-6 months. Okay, fish farming about 4 to 6 months for production of table-sized. Depending on the species you are culturing catfish, class Grampinos, and that takes about 4 months. But going on to tilapia, it takes about 6 months. So you can take on the production of table-sized fish. I'm also looking at fish processing and value addition for local and the export market for the free trade agreement. Then of course you can begin to think of how I can push my fish beyond the borders of Nigeria to other places where they can be accepted. So you buy the fish live, you process, you package, you brand, and push to the market. They also have the other areas which are the high ends now, talking of fish feed production and also sales of aquaculture equipment and even ornamental fish, the aquarium building, aquarium designing, aquarium maintenance. And that's what I have a friend who does is just a business. Install aquarium homes. He takes on the contract of monthly maintenance of the aquarium in the home and he earns his own decent living. And here you see as his principal occupation, which is not disturbed like that. And so these are the business opportunities quickly, the nutshell that's available for us. Even as a school also, with the fact that we now have aquaculture and fisheries as a WAEC subject, it's very imperative that we begin to have this running within our school system to expose our students and teachers also, not just with the theory of aquaculture or fish farming, but they need to see the practical side of it. And it's in the seeing that we can help get them to imbibe the desire to engage in farming, in agriculture, not necessarily as 100% of their occupation, but as a side business, we can begin to do this in schools. Even beyond aquaculture and fisheries, other aspects of agriculture, vegetable production, also, we can begin to do this in our schools. They don't take too much space. And most of us now have what is called urban farming or vertical agriculture, where you don't need to have much space. Even within a concretized environment, you can create apartments or structures in which you can plant something as big as yams within a living space. So let's begin to do this. Let's expose our younger ones, our children, to aquaculture, to fish farming, to farming in itself within our school system. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
watching